Hey guys, welcome to Impact Radio. I'm your host, Mark Lugo. All right, guys, thank you again for joining us. I'm your host, Mark Lugo. I'm excited to bring our next guest in this segment from whatever platform you're watching, YouTube channel, podcast throughout, or on KDRY 1100 AM. We're just excited to be here, and I love that I get to spend this time with you. Y'all get to know us, and y'all get to know our guest. So today we have two special guests on the show. We have Ms. Stephanie Garcia from the Yellow Rose Carriage Companies. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us.
And we have Kathy Stevens with Blue Bonnet Lollipop.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, so there's two separate companies. And excuse me, I should have mentioned HRH as well. So
we're actually four companies. So there's four companies there.
Excellent, excellent. So we have four of the horse carriage companies, from that are represented here of the five that are in downtown San Antonio, Texas. So we've definitely enjoyed many rides downtown, and like I was mentioning earlier, my wife loves to take the carriage rides because she feels like a princess. I said, and I was telling them, and I'm going to repeat it here, but I said, "You're not a princess, you're a queen, because I'm a king. I need to be married to a queen." She goes, "No, I'm a princess." I'm like, "We'll graduate one day, right?" But but she tells our boys, we have two older boys now, and they already know. Yeah, she's the what are the new term now is passenger princess.
Yeah.
They're not helping my case. None of these new phases coming in, but So just I would say we'll start with Stephanie. Tell us about your company and how it started. Where are you from?
Okay.
Your social security number. No, just kidding. No, just kidding.
Okay, I've been here since 2015. As you can tell by the accent, I'm from England. My companies have actually been around in San Antonio since the 80s, so they've been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the original companies downtown. I'm a retired police officer from England. This was my dream, to come over here and work with horses. Texas, the big state of horses and everything else. So I moved over here 2015 to live the dream, and unfortunately it's been ripped away from me.
Currently, at the moment, there's been some challenges facing you. Yeah. How about you, Kathy? Tell us about your company. How did it get started?
Sure. So our companies were started in 2009 by some veterans that had a dream and wanted to start some horse-drawn carriages in downtown San Antonio. So my owners purchased the company, pushed it forward. I left the corporate world. I was the Army brat. Left the corporate world and said I wanted to be able to raise my kids and have the flexibility to be able to do so. And I joined in, and I've been going strong ever since.
That's great, and it is a iconic tradition in San Antonio to take a horse carriage ride, and it's just neat to see them even just driving downtown and just. It's just part of our culture. It's part of San Antonio.
Very much so.
Big part of it. So, can you share with me some of your experiences in those years? I'm sure you have a lot of stories to share. Just different visitors from throughout the world.
Yeah, we get visitors from all over the world. Last year alone, we did over 300,000 rides to tourists and locals. That's not including the children under the age of 10. We do a lot of charity work as well. I work with Make-A-Wish and a few other charities, Tim Tebow, special needs proms and things like that. So, but people come not just for the Alamo and the boat rides, they come for the horses as well.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely a big part. How about yourself?
And the same thing. I've been driving for 16 years, and you get from people all over the world. I've met people from Dubai. I've met people from Greece, from Italy, that come here to see cowboys and, see horses. And just like you said, everybody wants to be a princess, what greater experience it is. And, we say all the time, we do this to turn your dreams into the reality, because that is for every little girl is to be a princess.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. So you do quinceañeras.
Yeah,
so talk to us about that, because that's huge in San Antonio.
It is.
We can get all the quinceañeras to come out and support you guys. But tell us about that, some experiences, anybody.
It's absolutely wonderful. We do a lot of quinceañeras. They come out with their fantastic dresses, and we're lucky that we have a lot of carriages, and they will actually pick carriages to match their dresses.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they don't always fit in the carriages with the dresses,
Yes.
but yeah, it's a magical experience, and this is what these girls want. They call us, they want to do photographs with us, they want photographs on the carriage, photographs with the horses. I mean, it's a special event, and that's what they want to do. They want to involve the horse and carriages.
Yeah, they want that Cinderella experience, right? So you are able to provide that.
Right, and not just quinceañeras, but we do birthday party. We've had 5-year-old birthday parties where we dress our horses up like unicorns to have the unicorn experience. You know, all the way to you know, elderly people that just want that, you know, bucket list experience to take a carriage ride. We both have done those millions of times. You know, the last wishes, and it's just a way to give back.
We actually did a superhero one, and our horses were dressed up as Superman and Spider-Man and other things like that.
Wow, I haven't experienced that yet, but those are all great ideas. You know, I mean, I just kind of pictured it with the quinceañeras and part of the, you know, the downtown experience. But y'all do more than that outside of that.
Yeah, we do.
So that's good for. How do people get a hold of? You know, put your number out there or website. Both of y'all can actually just share how they can get a hold of y'all.
So we're on Facebook. You'll find all our things on Facebook, but we also have a website, yellowrosecarriage.com. And you can also call us on 210-225-6490.
Right, and mine as well. We're on Facebook as well as Instagram, and our website, bluebonnetcarriage.com or lollipopcarriage.com. And you can call us anytime, 210-599-2474. Typically, you get her or I when you call the numbers.
Okay, sounds good. Definitely. Like, I know the owners now, you know? But so right now, you know, y'all's businesses are being just targeted, I would say, at the moment that, you know, the city wants to eliminate horse carriage rides in San Antonio. Tell us how that's impacting you, and where did this come from?
This started in November 2022 with a CCR that was filed by the councilman from District 2 and Councilwoman Villagran from District 3. We knew nothing about them trying to ban us. The first that we ever found out was when a reporter called us and told us, "How do you feel?" or asked us, "How do you feel about this ban?" And it was like, what ban?
I think our question was, what's a CCR?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, what's a CCR?
No clue.
Like, do I want one?
Yeah.
Do I want a CCR?
Yeah, we now know what a CCR is. Yeah, we also know more about the council. But yeah, and then the CCR, the reasoning behind it was that the horses were cruel. So we went on that head on, and we proved that we weren't cruel. We're actually regulated by a city ordinance, Chapter 33 of the city ordinance, and we have one of the strictest ordinances in the country. People from all over the country come to us for advice to actually structure how they work in their cities and towns. So, and then from that, it went to the fact that we were causing congestion. But there was no mention of the fact that the city had taken the 8 carriage stands that we have that are mentioned in the ordinance away from us due to development and construction, and not replaced them. So it had pushed us into one commercial loading zone. So that's 25 carriages, because that's 5 carriage companies working from one area. So of course it looks like we are causing congestion. And then from that, it's gone to public safety, saying that we don't get out of the way of emergency vehicles. I'd like to say that we've been around since the 80s. And we've never had an incident downtown, and we've never had a complaint that we've never got out of the emergency vehicle way.
Wow.
And that's a big part of it, is that there's no instances of problems with the horse-drawn carriages. It's all just this speculation that is coming about. And we've tried to invite people. We love for people to come see us, come take a ride and experience it, so you can see firsthand, because horses are brilliant animals, and to be honest, they react faster than a driver can in a car. So the public safety, the congestion and all that, we've tried to work with them and make compromises, and it's just not, nobody's coming to the table. We've
put forward a lot of compromises, a lot. We've tried to say that we'll reduce our hours. We've given suggestions to carriage stands where we can work from, which is out of the downtown area and puts us on the outskirts. but there's just no feedback from the city council, or they will not sit down and talk to us.
Yeah.
All they've done is just turn around and say, right, we're going to phase you out in 1 to 2 years. It started off, but now it's gone 1 to 3 years. But Jalen McKee Rodriguez is actually pushing for the 1 year.
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting, because you can have an opinion about something from knowing about it, or you can have an opinion about something from experiencing it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So have any of the council members, mayor, anybody, have they taken a horse carriage ride?
So, no.
We haven't had anybody come out.
Have they supported y'all's businesses, small businesses, and they really push that they support local?
But they're not. These are 5 minority-owned businesses, and all they're interested in is putting them out of business. They're actually going to physically bankrupt the 5 businesses.
Wow. And you were mentioning some numbers earlier. Y'all had about, what did you say, that
300,000 tourists between the 5 companies last year.
Wow,
So, and that's like I say, not including the children under the age of 10. So
right. The impact that tourists or locals don't want us, downtown is just crazy to me, because 300,000 people in 1 year, that's a lot of people. I mean, San Antonio is a tourism city.
Oh yeah, big time.
They did bring in the fact that they've done a recent survey. The city did a recent survey which has been pushed all over the country, and part of the meeting yesterday, or part of the meeting that was recently, the transportation infrastructure has brought in the fact that most of the tourists wanted to ban the carriages,
right.
But what they're not pushing is the fact that animal activist sides were pushing this survey through influencers that are in New York and Chicago that have 2.2 million followers. So these people are saying, yeah, we're a tourist, we want to ban them. So it wasn't a scientific survey.
Yeah, and I filled out the survey, and there was about maybe 3 questions. I'm like, why in the world is this in the survey, and what does it have to do with horses?
Yes.
Right, and having a business.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that was a lot of the confusion. I mean, people who don't do what we do and understand our city and the ordinance. There's a lot of confusion in that survey, and I just think, I wish it would have been a more comprehensive survey and scientific survey to really get an understanding of what you were voting on.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll point out one is like, why is my race? What does my race have anything to do with the survey?
Yes.
Or if you're disabled.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, it makes no sense why that was in there, and that's like a basic one. There was some other ones in there that it's like, it just, I think it was very uncalled for to have it in there.
The suggestions that they put forward, there was no explanation. There was like, shall we do an outright ban? And then right at the very bottom was leave the horses as they are. There was no explanation that we're actually regulated by a city ordinance. There was no explanation of the rules that we have to follow. People just see, oh, the summers are getting hotter, so the horses must be out, but that's not the case. We are we have very strict guidelines that we're not allowed when the temperature is above 95 and above, that we don't work.
Yeah, and I do want to emphasize on that too. But I wanted, the other thing about the survey, or this whole initiative that's going on against you guys is to put you out of business. Is that what they want to get rid of you all? And maybe I missed it. What do they want to replace it with?
So they want to replace us with horseless electric carriages.
Horseless,
I mean, part of the
carriages.
A fancy golf cart.
Yeah, a fancy golf cart, that's what we call them. Part of the thing is the horse. I mean, some of these children have never been able to interact with an animal as big as what we have. I mean, we use draft horses. These horses are between £1,500 and £2,200. They are not the standard bred horses. These horses are work horses. And we have to, get that across to people. These horses want to work. Pulling a carriage in downtown San Antonio is a lot easier than ploughing a field for the Amish, where there's no regulations, where they can work in whatever temperatures they want.
Yes.
But these city council members seem to think that they need to rescue our horses. Our horses that get the best care. I mean, my horses get better health care than most people. But they've got this idealistic vision that all these horses need to go run in a pasture for the rest of their lives, when they don't realize it's actually going to shorten their lifespan. Yeah,
and the other thing too is that the animal activist or we're probably going to get a lot of email.
Yeah.
I just said that, but it's like the animal cruelty is what I was trying to say, is that, to be honest, I mean, we live in a big metropolitan city. How many people own horses? Number one, how many people take care of horses? How many people know, just the ins and outs of caring for a horse? And I would say a lot of people don't. And there's a lot of opinions about, well, I've heard some things like it's too hot for them, or or their hooves, they're getting burned, or they're pulling too much weight. And I just saw in the video that there was a man just kind of, pulling that thing around, the carriage around.
We can pull them around we can pull them around easily loaded with people. And in fact, every single day when our drivers come in and get ready, they pull that carriage before the horse does. They pull that carriage out to clean it and get it ready and everything like that, just like the horse does. And everything we use is designed to flow with the carriage, flow with the horse. Right. And we're not even using breast collars. We're using our hands. If you put a collar around you, you can pull, with even more ease.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's a lot of the misconception that we have.
And these carriages are very light. I mean, and once they start rolling, and downtown San Antonio isn't exactly a hilly place. It's quite a flat area. We're restricted onto what roads we can go on as well. I mean, that's another part of the ordinance. So that's another reason towards the public safety. We're not allowed on single lane traffic, or certain roads that are going to cause more congestion or anything like that, like Houston and Commerce and La Jolla. I'm not going to say the fourth one because my accent doesn't allow me.
Cesar Chavez.
The English accent does not come across very well on that one. But yeah, there are all these restrictions there that nobody knows about, but yet they're pushing the fact that we're cruel, we go out at all these temperatures, people take photographs of the carriages out, and then they'll take photographs of their car temperatures showing 101. What they don't realise, again, is that the city dictates what weather station we have to work from. We have to work from Weather Underground, Crookenland, which is station 1779, I believe it is. Yes. So until that station that the city tell us to work by goes below 95, we do not go out. Okay. And we've actually not worked for the last 3 nights because it's just been too hot.
Yeah, there's also heat advisories as well. Now, I may have asked this already, but I know that none of the council have been on the carriage ride. Have they been out to the farm to see, or the ranch, excuse me, and to see the horses?
I've had District White? 10, Mark White. He came out with Representative Lewin, and he's the only council member that's actually been out to the ranch. We have had visits to the downtown facility because we do have stalls down there. Mine's all air conditioned. And then we had Councilman Courage, and the rest has been chief of staff.
Okay. Representatives of the districts?
Only a couple of them, not all of them.
How many districts would you say you've had out to visit or represented?
I believe it's 4. 4 or 5 in total. I can't remember for sure. 4 to 5.
The mayor has not even responded to any requests at all. We've had no communication. But he has been on a carriage ride because we have given him rides during the parade.
During the parades.
Okay. That's allowable.
Yeah, that's allowable, yeah.
So tell us about the care of the horses. A lot of people are concerned, the care's like, oh, poor horses. I mean, if you see Heartland, we got Heartland. So.
We love Heartland.
My family, we all want to be Heartland. It's like we all want a big old ranch with lots of horses.
Like I said, our horses they're not horses. They're not a machine. They're not a tool. They are family. My house that I have is actually, I bought my house for my horses because I wanted the land for them. And my house is in the middle. And all my horses are around me. So on the night time, I can hear them moving around. They're coming up to my windows. And, they have inspections twice a year from our own vets. And then once a year, Animal Care Service and Dr. Espy, the city veterinarian that the city says not the city veterinarian, comes out and inspects. I actually had mine last week. All of my horses pass with flying colours. So they get body scored and they're ran to make sure they're not lame. And it's a long, time-consuming thing, but it's worth it because at the end of the day, we know that those horses are fit to work.
So you have... y'all have proof that, even from a professional veterinarian that says these horses are healthy, they're well taken care of, and they're not reporting you anywhere because you're abusing these animals.
Right. So we like she said, we have to take our horses twice a year to get health certificates, basically visually seen by a veterinarian to make sure that they're not emaciated, not lame. They're at a healthy weight. Their teeth are good. Their feet are trimmed, all of those things that we practice on a regular basis. So every 6 months, those are checked. And then again, like she said, yearly from Animal Care Services. Not to mention we deal with the public.
Yeah.
At any point, any time, if the public saw anything, we could have a spot check at any time. Our doors are open, so Animal Care Services at any time can call us and say, we want to come look at your barns or your horses.
Yeah.
And we open the doors within 30 minutes, so there's never been a time that
There's a lot of untruths going about that we know when people are coming, so we make it look good, but that is certainly not the case. Our horses are the way that they are all year round.
Yeah.
24/7.
I mean, but that's the same for anybody, anybody that's just like a restaurant, it's like getting checked, they're getting graded. I mean, they can say that about a restaurant. They can say that about any business. Oh, you knew that they were coming, you know what I mean? But if you were doing wrong, I believe eventually it's going to come out.
Of course.
Y'all been doing this for years, since the 80s, and so, I mean, if there was anything, it would have been out already,
The thing
anything
is,
negative like that.
you say, we've been around for over 40 years and we are in the public eye every day.
Yeah.
We're in the public eye every day. If we were doing stuff wrong, it would be brought to the city vet's attention. The city vet would have gone to the council would have gone to the city vet. That's not happened. The city council are using examples of horses collapsing in Greece and Mumbai. We have never had a horse collapse on the streets of San Antonio. We have never had a major incident. So to put us in the same category as these other countries and use them as examples to get rid of us is totally unfair.
We have no clue what their guidelines are or anything like that. So you don't know what the background is in those situations to know if that's a similar ordinance that we're dealing with here in San Antonio. Our horses, we have literal horse care people that we employ to make sure that our horses are cared for. After every single time they come back from a ride, they're offered water, given water, their diaper bags are changed. We have a poop catcher, so the streets of San Antonio stay clean. And all of these things we do to make sure that the horses' care is the utmost priority.
Not just that, there has been mention of the streets being dirty and smelly because of the horses. Again, the ordinance says that every night we have to go out and clean up after our horses.
There's way too much competition just to blame you guys for that.
Believe me,
the restaurant,
there is.
the alleys.
Unfortunately, we do. And if there is a smell, it's always the horses have done this. So we get a call. And even if they do find something that we may have missed, because sometimes it does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. We have got 30 minutes to get down there and clean it up. Otherwise, we get a citation. But every night, and there is a schedule between the 5 companies, a rota, and we have to go out every night after the horses go in, and we have a power washer. We spray the streets. We pick up everything that we can see. So,
is there a healthy compromise? The city wants their electric golf carts and keep your business going.
We've offered to pilot a program.
Yeah, we have, because they did ask us that, but we've also been to Guadalajara. We've also been to the Dominican Republic. We've been to Florida, where they said that these electric carriages were being piloted. Guadalajara, we were there for 3 days, and not one of the electric carriages moved.
Never.
Not one of them.
We never saw a person inside of them.
But the horse and carriages that were there.
It didn't make the sale.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
People didn't want to ride them.
But the horse and carriages that were there, they wanted to ride, and they were moving. For 3 days, we sat there and watched them. But we said, we'll pilot them, but, leave the horses as they are until we know that this electric carriage is going to work. But no, the city want to ban the horses, which is going to bankrupt me, and then make me go into more debt to buy electric carriages that may not work.
Very good point. Good point. You wanted something to add to that?
I agree. I mean, and that's the thing. We, of course, obviously we have debt. I mean, we've invested millions of dollars into our companies to provide the best horses. I mean, our horses are $25,000 a piece horses, and we both have 19 each.
Okay.
So I mean, there's a huge investment in our horses that carry the
We
carriages.
just want one. You got 19.
Exactly. I mean, so we have a huge investment in what we do because we love what we do, but you want us to invest. These electric carriages are $20,000 to $30,000 a piece, and you want us to invest even more money into that with no guarantee that we'll have a return.
Another thing with the electric carriages, they're saying that they're running in these different states, but they're not road legal. They've not actually been able to get them out on the streets because there's a lot of issues with them.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then the part of the ordinance is that we're not allowed to modify the carriages that we have. When they come from the manufacturers, they have to stay as they are. And we work with that with the city, with the ordinance. But if we get these electric carriages, there's going to have to be a lot of modifications just to get them street legal.
Yeah, and we're running out of time here. We're down to our 2-minute warning here, but I wanted to, just so those that are just kind of tuning in, if you can just introduce yourselves again and tell you your business and how they can get a hold of each of you for y'all services and what y'all do.
Okay, so I'm Stephanie Garcia. I'm the owner of Yellow Rose and HRH Carriage Company. You'll find us downtown San Antonio every day of the year, weather permitting, and as long as the temperature is below 95. You can get me on 210-225-6490.
And I'm Kathy Stevens with Bluebonnet and Lollipop Carriages. We park right in front of the Hard Rock Cafe. Typically right now in the summertime, you're looking at 8:30 for our start time, and you'll find us until as long as people are there.
So you do quinceañeras?
We do quinceañeras
all the things that y'all do there. Yeah.
So weddings, quinceañeras. I will say though, because of what's been going on with the city, we've had a lot of people that are panicking and calling us, saying, are my venues and events going to be okay for next year? We're there. We're going to be there for a long time.
We're keeping all of our contracts that we can keep and hoping that the city allows us to continue.
Yeah, I hear you. How can they support y'all now in these efforts? How can they provide support for y'all now? Those that want to say, hey, we want the horses to stay.
Make calls to your city council members. Tell them you want to see the horses in downtown San Antonio. Constituent impact can be the biggest thing. And
any shout outs to family?
Oh, our whole crew that's at home watching us. We love you, drivers.
All right. Well, that's all of our time today. And so I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. Guys, go out and support. Let's keep these horses. Let's keep these businesses flowing in San Antonio. Let's support them. Let's get behind them. San Antonio, Bexar County, tourists, wherever you're at, those 300,000 people, we need you right now. So call in and back this up. All right. That's all of our time today. Until next time, carry on.
Hey guys, welcome to Impact Radio. I'm your host, Mark Lugo.